What's up, YouTube? This your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. And today we're going to talk and recap Vytautas' earlier game versus BC Rytas. Really good game. Let's get into it. Alright, so in today's game, man, I hate to take these moral victories, right? But for a squad who is the #2 team in the LKL, and then also who already beat Vytautas by almost by 50, a 83-76 game is definitely something to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? I think that in kind of watching the game, and if you see my pre-game stream, you know that this game actually started at the same time that my son's game did this morning. So I caught as much of this game as I could. But man, at the beginning of it, it looked like Vytautas was ready to go ahead and roll and take this thing. As you see in the quick clips, your boy Demsha, who had to sit down with LeVar after last games, he came out with this ideal of, yo, I'm about to put the things in the he came out with this, like, I'm about to show up and we about to get this W. Before the game, he had some comments where he talked about that. He's like, yo, we not out here just trying to get a moral victory. We want the win. We trying to make the playoffs. So he sounded motivated. He was excited to play. You could tell early on he was killing. Vytautas really looked like they had this game in the bag, which is interesting because in normally their biggest like crutch, or the biggest thing that's stopping them from being a power, is their defense. And they had a hella offense normally, but the defense is lacking. And today it was kind of the opposite. Today they showed up a lot on defense, and the offensive shot wasn't hitting. Some of their top 3-point shooters were completely off in today's game. Even the coach talked about it afterwards, where the guy who LeVar said, yo, if he's on the court, we need to get him at least 10 3-pointers. He made 0 3-pointers this game. So for a close game, and you look at a team who is definitely who you can count on putting up buckets in most scenarios, who really in this game didn't have an opportunity or didn't take advantage of the open shots that they would normally hit, you can see why this is a good sign for Vytautas. Because as you look here at the stats here, where my boy at? Sensica was 0 for 4 behind 3-point line. That's the guy who LeVar was like, yo, he's gonna make 5 out of 10 if you give him out on a bad day. You know what I mean? And on a bad day, he took 4 shots and didn't hit any of them. I guess you could say, yo, keep feeding him, and maybe he'll shoot himself into the game. We didn't see that. They didn't really give him that opportunity today. One of the Rashawn Brodus, also struggled from the 3-point land, 0 for 2. Eldris Zaska, 0 for 4. So you see 4 for 22 from a team who set the record in LKL and 3-pointers in the single game in the LKL. So you can see that they were a little bit off. If they make, obviously they lost 83-76, so you give them 3 more, they make 3 of these threes that they missed, they had some wide open shots, and it's a different ball game for sure. Your boy Rashawn Brodus, man, I'm interested to see what he does, because he showed up with 4 points. If you look over here, he had a plus minus, a positive plus minus, was one of the only few folks on the team. Him and Kevin Bristol who topped that out. But when we first introduced Rashawn Brodus to the story, one of the big things that we talked about is that he was a former LKL All-Star. And in his LKL All-Star seasons, he was a scorer. He talked in the interview that, you know, he's primarily a pass-first point guard, but he has the ability to score, and he was kind of excited to be winning, like, the scoring title for that year. So I think that Rashawn Brodus has that inside of him, we just once he starts to get comfortable and that whole thing comes out, I think he's gonna be an asset, even more than he kind of is now, just defensively. Your boy LiAngelo, LaMelo didn't play today. He's hurt, as we all know. But your boy LiAngelo is showing up, man. He's dominating. He's dominating. Let me see. Let me make sure we're on the right one here. Yeah, your boy LiAngelo is dominating. 18 points today. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 turnovers. Versus the basically the number 1, number 2 team in the LKL. Really a toss up. They beat the number 1 team twice already. 0 turnovers. I feel like he is definitely showing why he's an NBA prospect. I think that one of the things that I find super interesting about the Ball brothers is a lot of folks who talk about their games, like, you know what you're going to get. When folks talked about Lonzo, they say he's going to be a culture changer. Somebody who's going to pass the ball to you, and his passing game is infectious, and everybody going to want to do it. Somebody the teammates love to play with. Just the different level of energy and the pace. When he's in with the Lakers, that's what you get, exactly as prescribed. Now, earlier in the season, his shot was a little bit different. But as you see the season going on, that shot starting to drop. And then also defensively, he's a surprise. I think what we get with LaMelo is exactly what LeVar and everybody depicted him as, a scorer. He's somebody who's getting buckets inside and outside. Shot 40% from 3 tonight and 67% from 2-point land. That's pretty dang good. You know what I'm saying? 18 points. You see right here, he's averaging 14.5 points a game right now. Now, he's only played in, I want to say, 6 games. But if you realistically, if this was over the stretch of the season and he was still putting up these numbers, he would be tied right now for the leading scorer in the LKL based off averages of games. Now, if you were to drop out this first game that they played versus the Lietuvos, where your boy Melo didn't get your boy Jello didn't get a bucket and he played less than 10 minutes, took 2 shots basically. I want to say he took 3 shots, didn't score. If you drop that, now his percentage goes up to 17 points a game, and he's leading the LKL by far. Now, this is a league that we talked about. It's not like the NBA where in order to be the leading scorer, you got to drop 30. The leading scorer is 14.5 points a game. So if he's coming in and dropping 17 points a game, you know what I'm saying, obviously if we drop that one, he's proving that he's a scorer. He can put that ball in the bucket. One of the knocks on LiAngelo coming out of high school because of that Chino Hills offense is that he's a high volume scorer. He's putting up 60, 70 points, and people were attributing that to the fact that he just took a ton of shots. What we're starting to see, though, now is that he is an efficient scorer as well. Given the system, given the right place, he can spot up and consistently knock down shots. So I'm super interested to see where he's going to be at going forward. Here, if you look at the point leaders for the LKL, you got 14.5, 14.2, you know what I'm saying? So Thomas Demsha from Vytautas is in the is number in the top 5. You also got Eldris Zoskas from Vytautas. So you see Vytautas is a squad that's going to put up points. So a game like today, man, they let him off the hook. They let him off the hook. The coach, Coach Seskas, talked about a kind of appeared in the game where they had a 6-point swing where there was a foul and they got buckets, and he got upset about that foul and then also got him a technical, and then they got the ball back, and that was in his mind was the changing point of the game, and where Vytautas kind of lost it. So he kind of took some of that on him. After the game was over, a lot of folks they started to question your boy. They asked him a lot of questions about Jello and kind of where he's coming from and what he's looking like right now. And what we're seeing is folks folks is excited about Jello. Let's just put it like that. Folks is excited about him. He was talking about his growth from when they first touched down to this game, and it's astounding. As you see with the drawing contact off a 3-pointer, nice pump fake. One of the things that also I noticed about Jello as far as growth wise is his body is changing. One of the knocks on him too was he was too big and bulky and didn't look as athletic. But I feel like he's shaped a little bit different. He not only looked like a little bit more solid than a lot of these other players, he does look a little bit more athletic in the paint, kind of spotting up, pulling threes and stuff like that. You see him getting a little bouncy every now and again. But I mean, the kid is playing good ball, man. Look at that putback. Bow, 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 bow. The coach from the other team, before the game, the coach from the other team made some comments about Vytautas, and you could tell that they were prepping for this game to be one of those like high scoring affairs. Maybe they were probably prepping for that Chino Hill style offense, and Vytautas didn't really give them that. They still took a lot of threes, but they were focused more on defense this game. And even though they had some holes in that defense, you can see that well. So the coach, he kind of mentioned LeVar Ball. He said, "Yo, we can understand why Vytautas wants to kind of run this different style offense, because they're not going to beat nobody with their defense, but it's going to take them doing some crazy numbers on offense." You know what I mean? But after the game was over, he made some more comments, and where he talked about Vytautas normally does not have the roster to like keep up. You know what I'm saying? And that has been something that they have in the past kind of been their excuses, like we don't have the players. But he kind of mentioned that right now, as constructed, they got a stick. They got a squad. And he said that he thinks that teams that they face moving forward are going to have their hands full. And he even predicted that Vytautas was going to touch down in the playoffs and be a problem. So it's a lot of folks showing my boy Jello and some love out here. Melo didn't get to play. I haven't heard anything from LeVar. I like to wait before I do these recaps, man, so I can hear what the coach is talking about, get some info from the opposing coach, and maybe catch a quote from LeVar to kind of add some context to these videos. But so I really haven't gotten any of that stuff yet, but it's looking pretty interesting moving forward for Vytautas. Right now they're still in last place, only a game back behind Nevezis or whatever that is, and Dazuka 2 games back. In their next couple of games, if we check the schedule here, let's pull up the schedule. We see that they are playing both those teams coming up. They got the Juzikas and then they got Neveska. So if they get those W's, that's a L for those teams. That's going to move them up. Now, if they can go on a little winning streak, the thing that does suck is they really had a really tough schedule as of late. They just played Zalgiris like 2 games ago. They play Shaolai, and then they play Rytas, who is the number 2 team, and then their next game versus Neptunus, who is the number 3 team in the LKL right now. So they've got a tough schedule, and then they go and play the 2 bottom teams ahead of them. So hopefully, if they can go on a little 3-game winning streak right here, man, that I believe should put them in that 8th place seed and then move them into the playoffs. As you may or may not know, one of the big deals is that if you're a 10th place team, you're not guaranteed a spot in the LKL next season. So it's a big deal. So it's not like the NBA where you can go ahead and tank or something like that. You have to play every game. Every game matters, and so it's kind of cool, man. It's exciting. I feel like even though I'm like a fan by proxy, like I feel the pressure. Like, yo, you might get dropped out of the league. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of those things where like, yo, you could get fired if you don't do your job. You know what I mean? Like that adds some extra to it. Not just like, yo, you're not gonna get signed on this team. Like the entire team may disappear if we don't win, type of thing. That's some pressure. I'm excited to watch these next couple games, man. Let's see. The next game is, let's see, 3:10. So that is, I want to say, Vytautas and their website over here, man. They got their countdown 6 days from now, 22 hours. So basically 7 days. So that's next Saturday. Um, Tune in, man. We'll talk some more before then, I'm sure. Kind of just some updates on the channel, man, and kind of what we trying to do. I am, as you know, we started this new channel and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I am, tomorrow, your boy is out here in Vegas for a couple of days, you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that. But one of the things that I want to do a little bit more is kind of incorporate some more of these live streams and kind of producing the content. So the plan though is that while I'm in Vegas, I'm going to be kind of uploading some of my old catalog of videos throughout the week, but then also kind of jumping in and out on some live streams while I'm there. It's just so much easier to live stream than to like on the go when I'm not like in my home studio, record a video, edit it, and then put it out. It just take too long, you know what I'm saying? So the live stream format, especially if I can get a decent or like a high quality stream going, you know what I'm saying, is kind of the thing that I want to start to incorporate more. I appreciate y'all, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and you know what I'm saying, we'll keep the content going. It's your main man, AB the Hero. I'm out.